Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to your channel The Anatomy Canvas. In today's class we are going to discuss the histology of the connective tissue. So learning objective for today's class are to discuss general structure of the connective tissue and its classification, its different types and the connective tissue fibers. So first of all, the general structure, the connective tissue generally consists of the cells and the extracellular matrix. And extracellular matrix then itself consists of fibers and the ground substance. So this ground substance is formed by the glycosaminoglycans, the proteoglycans and non-adhesive glycoproteins. So these are the three different components of the connective tissue on which we classify. The composition vary in different type of connective tissue on which we classify the different types of the connective tissue. Here in this diagram you can see these fibers. These are the blood vessels which are present in connective tissue. Here on the background you can see the ground substance which is present. These thick fibers are that of the elastic fibers and these pink color fibers are those of the collagen fibers. And also here you can see the small thin fibers which are present over here. These are the reticular fiber. So three types of the fibers: the elastic, the collagen and the reticular fibers. Also the different types of the cells which are present in this connective tissue. For example, this is the mesenchymal cell which is present. This one is the macrophage which is present. These are the adipocytes which are present, and these are the different fibroblasts which are present in the connective tissue. So these are the resident cells of the connective tissue. So different characteristics: you can see the cells, the extracellular matrix which consists of the fibers and the ground substance. So this is the general structure of the connective tissue. General properties of the connective tissue. Basically, we classify the tissue into four main types. These four main types of tissues in body are epithelium, the connective tissue, the muscle tissue and the nervous tissue. So connective tissue is one of the main four types of the tissue which are present in the body, and it is composed of cells, fibers and ground substance. Main function is that of architectural framework of the body. Also, it binds the different tissues together and provide the mechanical support for the tissues, metabolic, defense, transport, storage support. Also, it helps in wound repair. Also, inflammatory responses takes place in the connective tissue. So as name indicate, the connective means connect. So it connects the all other three types of the connective tissue with each other in the body. So this connective tissue characterized by cells and the fibers and ground substance, that is called the extracellular matrix. So how we classify? The classification of connective tissue is based on composition and organization of its cellular and extracellular components and also on its function. So basically on composition and organization of its component, we classify the tissue into different types. So the different classes are the embryonic connective tissue, the connective tissue proper and the specialized connective tissue. In embryonic connective tissue we have two types of connective tissue. One is the mesenchymal connective tissue, that is the connective tissue of the embryo. Then is mucous connective tissue which is present in umbilical cord. Then connective tissue proper, we have two major classes, the loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. Loose connective tissue is also called the areolar connective tissue, and also reticular connective tissue is also another type of loose connective tissue. Dense connective tissue is classified as either dense regular connective tissue or dense irregular connective tissue. Then we have the specialized type of the connective tissue. These are the cartilage, the blood, bone, the hematopoietic tissue, the adipose tissue and the lymphatic tissue. So as I have told you that we classify the different type of tissue on composition and type of the fibers and the cells which are present in it, and also on the function. So these are the three major classes of the connective tissue: the embryonic, the connective tissue proper and the specialized. So first of all, we will study the embryonic connective tissue. The mesenchyme is one type and mucous connective tissue is another type. So this mesenchyme is basically embryonic connective tissue, is present within the embryo, and in this you can appreciate these cells. These cells are spindle shaped cells with the thin processes, and these processes are attached to each other with the neighboring cells, thus they are forming the three-dimensional cellular network. These cells are attached to each other by the gap junction, and the extracellular space which is present over here is occupied by the extracellular matrix, that is the ground substance. So another very important point, usually this ground substance is very much hydrated, so you cannot this water containing ground substance is washed during slide preparation. So whenever you are looking at the slide, you see the empty spaces over here. So these empty spaces actually shows the presence of the ground substance in it. So these are the cells, and these are the fibers which are present. Mainly the reticular fibers are present, and reticular fibers are very thin and they are sparse, and because of this sparsity of the reticular fibers, these tissues show limited physical stress on growing fetus. So this is the embryonic connective tissue, in which you can see these cells, the fibers and the ground substance. Large amount of ground substance, large number of the cells, and few fibers which are reticular in type. Then the mucous connective tissue, which is present in the umbilical cord. Here you can see these are the connective tissue cells, also called the specialized type of the cells which are present in mucous connective tissue. These are fibroblasts. These cells are again have spindle shaped cells and having the processes. These processes are attached to each other. In addition to these cells, you can also appreciate these small fibers, the large number of fibers which are present in it. These are loose, irregularly arranged fiber. This is another type of the connective tissue. Here you can also appreciate a blood vessel which is present. So example is the Wharton jelly, and this the ground substance of this mucous connective tissue is usually hyaluronic acid, which is very much hydrated, and because of this hydration, this gives a jelly like appearance, giving the name the Wharton's jelly. So next is the connective tissue proper. This connective tissue is again categorized into two subtypes, the loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. So loose connective tissue may be areolar and the reticular, and dense may be dense regular and dense irregular connective tissue. So loose connective tissue is widely distributed. The packaging and anchoring material, it is flexible. Always remember this loose connective tissue is present just beneath the epithelia. So this is very important point. Whenever you are looking the loose connective tissue, you would find it under the epithelium or in the glandular structure, just around the glandular structure of the glands, the tubular structure of the gland. You can find the loose connective tissue. So this loose connective tissue composed of the fibroblast and macrophages, and fiber most prominent are the collagen fibers. Also must remember there are large number of the cells in loose connective tissue, and fibers are less as compared to dense. The ground substance is relatively fluid-like and occupies many small areas called areolae. Therefore, this connective tissue is called loose areolar connective tissue. This is actually this connective tissue through which blood vessels, nerves, and lymphatics are passing, and it allows the easy passages of the even the fluid by the way of the diffusion to the epithelium. So this is a loose connective tissue, widely distributed, packing and anchoring material, and it is flexible. This is the slice of the loose connective tissue along with the dense connective tissue. This is a slide taken from some of the gland. You can appreciate here the glandular structure and the epithelium which is surrounding this glandular structure is loose in contrast to this epithelium which is dense. So you can differentiate between these two, that in this area you can see large number of the nuclei are present, which means that it is highly cellular as compared to this. Also number of the fibers are less as compared to this. So this area is surrounded by the glandular structure, is surrounded by the loose connective tissue, and this is dense irregular. This is another slide of the loose connective tissue, and this one is the blood vessel, some arteriole which may be present over here, and this is the loose connective tissue in which you can appreciate these dark pink color stained fibers stained with eosine. These are the collagen fibers, and large number of the nuclei which may be the nuclei of the fibroblast or other resident cells of the connective tissue. Then is the reticular connective tissue. The very important point about reticular connective tissue is the type of the fiber. Number one, these are the type 3 collagen fibers, also called the reticular fibers. Another very important point is the cells which are present in reticular connective tissue are the reticular cells, not the fibroblast. So these reticular cells secrete the reticular fibers. This slide is stained with the silver staining taken from the lymph node, and these reticular fibers are gyrophilic. They stain with the simple and gives the black color. So these black color fibers are the reticular fibers. There is a loose disposition of glycosylated reticular fibers provide a framework with specialized microenvironment for cells in hematopoietic tissue, in lymphoid organs, that is bone marrow, lymph nodes, spleen, etc. The resulting cell-line system creates a meshwork of passage for the passage of leukocyte and lymphocytes, the macrophages and the dendritic cell. So these are the spaces in between these reticular fibers where the cells of lymphoid origin are present. This is another slide from the lymph node, again showing you the reticular fibers which are darkly staining fibers with the silver stains, and in addition you can also appreciate large number of the cells of the lymphoid origin which are present. So remember, the reticular fibers are type 3 collagen fibers. The reticular cells are the specialized type of the fibroblast. They having stellate appearance with slender radiating processes, and they have the scanty ground substance. So this is the schematic diagram of the reticular cells and its fiber. So this is this cell, the spindle shaped cell having the slender radiating processes which are attached to other. In addition, you can also appreciate the reticular fiber which is stained black in this slide. So diagram show only the fibers and the cells. The free transient cells are not present. These are empty spaces which show the spaces where the free or the transient cells and the permanent or resident cells will be present. So this slide only shows you the reticular fiber, the reticular sites which are present. These reticular sites are attached to each other in such a way that they form a reticulum in which the resident and the transient cell population is present. This is another slide from the lymph node in which also you can see the silver stained reticular fibers. These silver stained fibers are blackish in color in this area. In addition to these fibers, you can also see large number of the cells which are of lymphoid origin. Then is the dense connective tissue. The dense connective tissue contains fewer cells. They have closely packed fibers and the less ground substance. The dense connective tissue may be dense irregular type or may be dense regular type. Dense irregular occurs in the form of the shears. The collagen fibers form meshwork. They resist the stress. So in this slide you can see large number of collagen fibers which are present in this slide, and these fibers are irregularly arranged. In addition to these cells, you can also appreciate the nuclei of the fibroblast which are present over here, which secrete the collagen fiber. So main type of the collagen fiber over here are type 1 collagen. Another slide for the dense irregular connective tissue. In this slide you can see large number of the collagen fiber. In addition to collagen, you can also appreciate the reticular fiber as well, which are present over here. This is the slide taken from the skin, and this is the slide with the Mason's trichrome stain. And this slide you can see this is the epithelium, then is the loose connective tissue, and then is the dense connective tissue. And in this dense connective tissue you can see the fibers stain bluish or violet color in Mason's trichrome stain. So you can also differentiate between the loose and dense. Over here, loose connective tissue has large number of the cells as compared to dense connective tissue containing large number of the fibers which are irregularly arranged as compared to the loose connective tissue. Also, the loose connective tissue contain large number of the ground substance as well. Next is the dense regular connective tissue. In this dense regular connective tissue, the fibers are densely packed and they are regularly arranged. And in between these fibers, the fibroblasts are arranged in the form of the rows. Again, this dense regular connective tissue is classified into two types: the dense regular collagenous tissue or dense regular elastic connective tissue, depending upon the type of the fibers which are present in it. So, dense regular collagenous connective tissue contain a large number of the collagen fibers. The ground substance is also present. Nuclei of the fibroblasts you can also appreciate. So this is the slide from the tendon in which you can see this is the endotendinium, this is the epitendinium, and in these you can see the regular arrangement of the fibers along with these fibroblasts which are regularly arranged in the form of the rows. The same slide at higher magnification in which you can appreciate the nuclei of the fibroblast. This is the same slide at this level. I draw a line to show you that the section is taken at this level, this section is taken at this level. This is the cross section of the dense collagenous tissue in which you can see irregular arrangement of the fibroblast cells. So because of that you can appreciate at this level that when we take the section at this level, we see the nuclei which are irregularly arranged. Also we can appreciate the blood vessels along with the endoneurium which is present. So this dense regular connective tissue may be present in the tendon, in the ligament, in the aponeurosis. These are examples of the dense regular connective tissue which is collagenous type. This is the HNE stain section at higher magnification of dense regular connective tissue, showing you the nuclei of the fibroblast which are present in the form of the rows. And this area shows the electron micrographic picture of the dense regular connective tissue in which you can appreciate the fibers as well as the fibroblast. The fibroblast is the cylinder shape. It is cylindering end and it has the nuclei which is present in this section. Still at further higher magnification you can appreciate the nucleus of the fibroblast, large number of the profiles of RER which are present, and this is the section of the collagen fibers which is present in electron microscopy. This is again the electron microscopic picture of the dense irregular connective tissue in which you can see the densely packed array of the collagen fibers which are present over here, and this inset show further higher magnification of the electron micrograph in which you can see the banding pattern and longitudinally arranged collagen fibers which are present. Then this is the atomic force microscopic image of type 1 collagen fibers, and in which you can also appreciate the banding pattern as well. Dense regular elastic connective tissue, the prominent cell types present in this are the elastic fiber that occurs in elastic ligaments, that may be true vocal cord, that may be ligamentum flava. It is also present in the mesentery. It is also present in the elastic arteries, the tunica media of the elastic artery. So this is the slide of the mesentery, and in this slide the thick fiber which are present over here, I mark with a pen to show you these thick fibers which are present over here are the collagen fibers, and these thin fibers which are present over here are the elastic fibers. So you can appreciate in this slide that it contains large number of the elastic fibers in addition to collagen. And this is the slide taken from the elastic artery. This shows the elastic fibers which are arranged in the form of the sheets in the tunica media of the elastic arteries. Then this is another beautiful diagram showing you the dense elastic connective tissue. It contains large number of the elastic fibers. You can appreciate over here as well. And this is basically slide taken from the dermis of the skin. And deep in the dermis of the skin, in addition to collagen fibers, elastic fibers are also present. These black color stained fibers are basically elastic fibers, and these pink color fibers are the collagen fibers. So the elastic fibers may be appearing in the form of the rectangle, they may be present in the form of the dot, or they may be longitudinally arranged. So these rectangular fibers shows that the fibers are cut obliquely, and in dotted appearance they show that the fibers are cut in a transverse section, while here show the longitudinal section of the elastic fibers. In addition to these elastic fibers, you can also appreciate large number of the collagen type 1 fibers. These are thick fiber and they stain with the eosine. So this is dense irregular connective tissue containing elastic fiber as well as the collagen fiber. Next is the adipose tissue, the specialized type of the tissue. The large aggregate of adipocytes are present, represents the excess nutritional calories richly supplied by capillaries and sympathetic nervous fibers. There are again two types, the white and the brown adipose tissue. So white adipose tissue contains unilocular adipocytes. The cells are usually 50 to 150 micrometer in size. Nucleus is pushed towards one side. All of the cell is filled with a lipid droplet, and these lipid droplets are usually washed during slide preparation. That is why the cell appear empty. The cytoplasm is present in a form of a ring, and this cell typically gives a signet ring appearance. In addition to these adipocytes, you can also appreciate the blood vessels which are present over here. Example of the white adipose tissue is the paniculus adiposus, which is present in the deep fascia of the skin. Then the brown adipose tissue, you can differentiate between these two types, that it is highly vascular, it is multiloculated, it contains abundant mitochondria, adipocytes are polygonal, nucleus usually eccentric, septas are present in this tissue, and this is the tissue usually present in the newborn till the first decade of life, and it prevents the heat loss in the newborn babies, so that it has thermoregulatory effect. Another very beautiful diagram to show you the loose and the dense connective tissue and differentiate between the two. So this is the epithelium, and this yellow lining shows the epithelium lining of the epithelium, its basement membrane, and in this area you can appreciate the loose connective tissue which is present. This loose connective tissue contains large number of the cellulars in addition to fibers and the ground substance. Also, this is the slide taken from some of the gland, in which you can see the glandular element which is present, and surrounding this glandular element you can appreciate the loose connective tissue, while here you can appreciate the dense irregular connective tissue. So you can differentiate between these two types, that the loose connective tissue contains large number of cellularity, decreased number of the fibers, and high grounds, a large number of the ground substance, while the dense irregular connective tissue contains small less number of the cells and irregular arrangement of the large number of the fibers and few small amount of the ground substance. Then the same dense irregular connective tissue at higher magnification. This is the collagen fiber, the longitudinal section and cross section of the collagen fiber, and here you can appreciate the nuclei of the fibroblast. Again, you can differentiate the dense and the loose connective tissue in the dermis of the skin. This is the section of the sweat glands you can see, and this glandular structure is surrounded by the loose connective tissue, while this all area is dense irregular connective tissue. Here you can appreciate the adipose tissue as well. So this is dense regular connective tissue, the regular arrangement of the fibers and the fibroblasts which are arranged in the form of the rows. Elastic connective tissue, in which this is the Vigard stain. usually taken from the wall of the aorta, and with this we can't stain the elastic fiber stain blackish or violet, deep violet color. So you can appreciate the sheets of the elastic lamellae which are present in the wall of the aorta. The slide of the adipose tissue, the smaller blood vessel, and the rim of the cytoplasm, in addition to nucleus which is present on a corner giving a signet ring appearance, and these are the nuclei of the fibroblast. So this is a slide of the reticular connective tissue. This is stained with a silver stain and fiber with a silver stain blackish in color. This is the area of the central vein and radiating cards of the hepatocytes, and the connective tissue stroma of the liver is formed by the reticular connective tissue. So connective tissue, now we move on to the connective tissue fiber. So please remember, we will do the ground substance and the connective tissue cells in the next class, and in this class we will complete the fibers only. So connective tissue fibers are present in varying amount depending upon the structural needs or function of the connective tissue. Each type of fiber is produced by the fibroblast and is composed of protein consisting of the long peptide chain. So basically three main type of the fiber: the collagen, the reticular, and the elastic fibers. So collagen fiber are most abundant, they are flexible, they give high tensile strength, wavy structure of variable width and intermediate length, and they stain readily with HNE composed of thread-like subunits called the collagen fibrils. They exhibit 68 nanometer banding pattern. You can appreciate this banding pattern over here. Here this is the space which is called the lacunar region, and this is the overlapping region of different tropocollagen fibers with each other. Because of this space, this collagen fibers gives a appearance of the banding pattern. So this is the electron micrographic picture of the fibers, in which you can see the banding pattern. This banding pattern, this is the lacunar space in which you can see light area. Then different type of the fiber, more than 25 of the fibers have been identified, out of which type 1 fibers are most abundant. They are present in skin, tendons, bone, dentin, and they resist to tension. Type 2 mainly present in the cartilage, type 3 in reticular connective tissue, also may be present in dermis of the skin as well. Then the type 4 collagen fiber in the basement membrane. Then type 6 and 9 are associated with type 1 and type 2 fibrils. They are attaching the fibers to the extracellular matrix binding. And type 7 are also called anchoring filaments. They are present in epithelia, and they attach the epidermis, the basal lamina, to the reticular lamina. So the very important diagram to understand is the synthesis of the collagen fibers. The few of the steps from this step to this, these are the intracellular steps, and from here downward, these are the extracellular step. So first step is formation of the messenger RNA for each gene of the alpha, for each of the alpha chain. Different type of alpha chains are present in collagen fibers, and on the basis of these alpha chain we classify different type of the fibers. So first of all, the messenger RNA form, and because of the messenger RNA, it attaches to the rough endoplasmic reticulum, where synthesis of the procollagen molecule of alpha chain takes place. Next step is the hydroxylation of the alpha chain, and the next step, the fourth step, is the glycosylation of the alpha chain. After the glycosylation, the collagen alpha 3 alpha chains twist around each other to form a triple helical structure with non-helical ends. At this stage, all of the processes are taking place in rough endoplasmic reticulum and then the Golgi apparatus, and then they are transported into the Golgi apparatus in the form of the transport vesicles to the Golgi apparatus. Here is the Golgi apparatus. These transport vesicles are formed from the rough endoplasmic reticulum and transported to Golgi apparatus, where further packaging of these transport vesicles takes place, and then there is the exocytosis of these vesicles. After the exocytosis, the extracellular events takes place, and most important event in extracellular process is the cleavage of the non-helical ends of the tropocollagen molecules, and then the proper arrangement of the tropocollagen to form the collagen, and then the proper bending pattern of the collagen molecules. The fibrillar structure take place. So collagen fibers viewed with the light microscopy, you can appreciate in this stain as well as this is the Mason's trichrome stain, and this is H&E stain. So in this the blue color fibers are the collagen, and they are here in the eosinophilic stain. They take the eosinophilic stain because of the glycosylated portion of their tropocollagen. Then the collagen fiber versus fibril. These are the H&E stain section at light microscopy, and this is the electron microscopy. So in this you can say irregular arrangement of the collagen fibers, and here you can see the longitudinal section and cross section of the collagen fibers, and in longitudinal section you can appreciate the banding pattern as well. So reticular fibers in the next type, they form delicate supporting framework for highly cellular tissue, that is endocrine, the lymph, the liver, the bone marrow, the spleen, the smooth muscles, composed mainly of type 3 collagen. Special stain is the silver stain which is used to visualize these cells. These are thinner than type 1 collagen, usually 30 to 40 nanometer in diameter, while type 1 collagen fibers are usually 200 nanometer or more. So reticular fiber in different frame, you can say this is the H&E stain section from the lymph node. These black color fibers which stain with the silver, and this is the electron micrographic picture of the cell of the reticular fiber, and here you can also appreciate the reticular fiber. So these fibers are forming the reticulum, and in the spaces of these reticulum the cells of the lymphoid origin are present. So next, the third type are the elastic fibers, visualized by selective staining with the resorcine fuchsin or aldehyde fuchsin. They consist of amorphous core of elastine surrounded by a microfibrillar protein called the fibrillin. This is very important. Whenever you are looking at the slide, you will see the elastic fibers in a form of the amorphous core. So confers the elasticity present in large amounts in ligaments, also in the lung, which also has to show the elasticity during the respiratory process. It is also present deep in the dermis of skin, also in the bladder wall, urinary bladder wall, and wall of the blood vessels. The Morphin syndrome is one of the syndrome which is affected with a defect in the elastic fiber synthesis. So there is reduced elasticity in skin and lung, and the skeletal defects are present. The bones are longer and thinner than the usual. Also the cardiovascular complication like aortic aneurysm and valve prolapse are also present, because the aorta is also an elastic artery and it contains large number of the elastic fibers as well. So network of the elastic fibers can stretch and recoil like a rubber band. So these are the fibers in relaxed state, and these are the fibers in the stretched state, where you can see the cross linking of the fibers as well. Then another important slide to show you the collagen fibers and the elastic fibers. These are the cross section of the collagen fiber, and this amorphous area shows the elastic fiber which are present over here, and these M are the fibrillar proteins which covers the elastic fiber, and this is further higher magnification. This black amorphous area shows the elastic fibers. Another stain show you the elastic and the collagen fiber. This is the H&E stain section, in which you can see a large number of the collagen fibers, and in addition to these collagen fibers, the black color fibers are the elastic. Also you can appreciate in this diagram the thick eosinophilic fibers are collagen, and thin black color fibers are the elastic fibers. So here I complete my today's class. References for the today's class are the Basic Histology by Laikus and Siddiq, the Histology Text and Atlas by John Quera, and Histology Text and Atlas by the H. Ross. Thank you very much for your attention for today's class, and Allah Hafiz till the next class.